Hello guys, my name is Evans and welcome to this video tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to start looking at the 2017 IGCSE ICT May June. This time around paper 3-2. In the last couple of videos we've been doing paper 3-1 and in this one we start with paper 3-2. Now you guys have requested me to do these videos, some of them using Dreamweaver, and so I've managed to download a trial version of Dreamweaver, so it should be expiring in 7 days, so I can manage to do a recording before it expires. Nevertheless, for those of you guys who wanted me also to do videos using web expression and the like, I'll still find some time to do that, but for now I think we can just stick with Dreamweaver. Okay, so I'll use Photoshop as well as opposed to Picture Manager for reasons I'll explain later. So so this should be an interesting paper all the same, but like I've always said, the skills that you need to answer any of these papers are actually transferable. So if you're working in Dreamweaver, you shouldn't struggle to work in front page, you shouldn't struggle to work in Composer, you shouldn't struggle to work in web expression. Okay, so the concept is really the same, and it's just a skill that you just need to transfer from working in one environment to another. Okay, without wasting much of our time, let's go straight into our work for today. So task 1, evidence document. So open the file 1732 evidence.rtf. Make sure that your name, center number and candidate number will appear on every page of your document, your evidence document, by placing these details in the header. So this time around we are told to specifically place this information in the header. Save this as a word process document in your work area with the file name 1732 evidence, and then you're going to follow it up with your candidate number at the end. Okay, and then you're going to need this document during the examination to answer questions, to enter answers to questions, and also to place screenshots when you're required to do so. Okay, so let's go ahead and work with this evidence document. Okay, so I already have my files here, and these are the files in question. So open up the evidence document, and we are going to insert in the header. Just close up this. We're going to insert in the header of this file. We're going to insert our candidate details. Okay, so choose blank 3 column, then Casa Evans. Your candidate number is center number is ZM556, and your candidate number is 0001. Okay, right. So you're going to save this file, save as, and then in the current folder I want to save this as a word process document, but at the end there we're going to add our candidate number. Okay, so there you go. Done with this step. Let's go to task 2, web page. You're going to help some trainees develop web pages to teach students about website authoring. Okay, so create a new folder called this is the name 1732 underscore HTML. So I'm going to copy this one and then just paste it when I create the folder. So create a new folder right in here and name it as that. Okay, and okay, so let's see. Okay, so now we have the folder created. Now what we need to do is to locate the following files and store them in your 1732 underscore HTML folder. Okay, so these are the files in question. So we have the switch, and we have the web CSS and the CSS file. So drag and drop them inside there. Okay, so that should be fine. And within here you should have these 3 files, so just verify that you have these 3 files inside your work area. Next, open the file 1732 switch.png in a suitable application, and then what you're going to do with this file is to reduce the color depth of this image and save it so that it is more suitable for use as a web based image. And so do not crop or resize the image. Now guys, in the last couple of videos I've been talking about the color depth of images and all, and how that you have got different color depth depending on the format of the file that you have in question. For example, the JPEG or the JPG files, um, they are um, they are 24 bits, and that means that you have 8 bits reserved for each color. So red has 8 bits, and then um, green has 8 bits as well, and blue has 8 bits. Okay, so each of these colors can be represented using that. Maybe just for the sake of some of you guys who are coming across this for the very first time, if you guys some of you, if you know what I'm talking about, please, you can just skip this video a little bit in front, so that you some of the guys who do not know this, especially that you are writing the paper on Tuesday, you may need to know what I'm trying to explain here. So let me just open up a blank PowerPoint, maybe just for you guys there. Maybe let me just use my. Okay, so now what I want to say, guys, is that you need to be very conversant with the different color depths that that exists when you're working with images, because you would need this information either to answer theory question paper, or when you're doing your practical paper, you will need this information. Okay, so it's very important that you guys you get this this very clearly. Okay, so let's start with color depth. Okay, so this really defines or let me start from here. If you remember, you have the primary colors as red, green and blue, and each of these three colors has got binary numbers that are used to represent this. Okay, so at least you should have about 8 bits that are reserved to represent represent red. So 8 bits for red, you should have 8 bits for green, and you should have 8 bits reserved for blue. Now this is for images that are to do with JPG. Okay, these are 24-bit images. Okay, so you have 8 bits reserved per channel. Okay, you have 8 bits that is reserved per channel. Now each of these is considered as a respective channel. Okay, so red is a channel on its own, green is a channel on its own, and blue is a channel on its own. Okay, so what this means, guys, is that you've got if you have got 8 bits reserved per channel, what you have now, it means that you have 2 to the power 8. Okay, let me just do 2 to the power 8. Okay, which is basically about 256 ways that you can represent 256 ways that you can represent a color. So in other ways, red can be represented 256, or typically 255, because you start from 0. Okay, you guys who deal with hexadecimal colors, you know what I'm talking about. So you have from 00 to FF for red. This is about 266 ways that you can represent the color red. Okay, the same applies with green, the same applies with red. Okay, now the thing that you should know, guys, about this is that there are also images that are PNG images. Okay, now by default, most JPG images end on just 24 bits. They cannot go beyond that. So if you are given an image which is, say, a PNG image which has got 48 bits, okay, now this image with 48 bits, usually it's a JPG, a PNG image. It has got, of course, red, green and blue representation, but instead of having 8, you have 16 bits reserved for each color. Okay, so 16 bits per channel. Okay, now what this means is that you have over 200, you have 2 to the power 16. Now I don't know what number this is, I don't have a calculator here, but it could be maybe 1024 going up, I'm not so sure. But what you have is a large number which is used to represent these colors. Now the difference here, guys, that you should know is that these the more number of bits that you're going to have. For example, you have 24 bits versus 48 bits. So the 48 bits actually is a larger file. So you notice something about it, that it's going to be a larger file in terms of file size, and then also in terms of it being transferred over the net, over the internet, whether you're uploading or downloading, it will take a while compared to a 24-bit channel. Okay, so usually in the exam you're asked maybe to convert one image from one form, let's say from a 24 bit to a 48 bit, or from a 48 bit to a 24 bit, depending with the kind of web page that you're working on. And then they ask you later on to evaluate, okay, the changes that have taken place as you are doing the conversion of some of these channels. Now you guys, you can do a research on this. I'm just meant to solve this exam paper, but I just wanted you to know that there's this thing that exists about color bits, and it's part of your syllabus. In case you thought what I'm talking about is not part of your syllabus, this is part of your syllabus, and every now and then you are going to encounter questions about this, so it's better that you know this stuff by heart. Okay, so let's go back to our work here. All right, so the question tells us to open an image file and we open in a suitable application. So I'm going to open it in let's say Photoshop. Okay, so whilst we have Photoshop loading, go back. Okay, it's almost done. I'm going back to the question paper. Okay, let me see, where's my question paper. Okay, see. So we are to reduce the color depth of this image and save it so that it is more suitable for use as a web-based image. Okay, so now you guys remember, I've always said that, you know, if you're talking about images being used in a web page, you want that the image should be loading faster. It's very frustrating when you have a website and you're trying to open some web page from it, and then and the images are not loading. Okay, you just find it's kind of taking forever to load. That's very frustrating on the user's part. Okay, so the other thing that we're told is that we shouldn't crop or resize this image. Okay, now we're going to take evidence document. So let's go ahead and just open this, first of all, this image in question. So what you need, I'll just create a new blank document. So select this one, it's a new blank document, and click on create. Okay, just so when you have that, go to file and click on open. Okay, all right, so go to the folder where you're working. Okay, so mine is here, so go to the folder, and inside the folder select the image that you're talking about. So this is the image in question, and open it. Now, one of the questions has asked us to provide evidence, so take screenshots before and after, showing how you change the color depth of the image, of this image, and place these in your evidence document. Okay, so what you're going to do is to go back to your Photoshop, and then you're going to go on image and select mode. Now you want to show the examiner that this image, before it was before the color depth was changed, it was a 16-bit image. Okay, now 16-bit per channel, that means this is a 48-bit image overall. Okay, so what this means, guys, that this is a relatively larger image in terms of file size. If you go to the folder I'll show you very soon, you'll notice that this one will be a relatively larger image compared to an 8-bit image. Okay, so you take a screenshot of this one, so just crop it from there. This should be very fine. Copy it and go and paste it, image original image before changes here, and this is the image. So you're showing that this is actually a 16-bit image, and it's kind of a larger image in terms of file size. Then you go back and then you are told in the question paper that you are supposed to reduce the color depth of this image. Now we are not told that this color depth should be reduced to by how much, but we know that color depth will start from 8 bits per channel. So we're going to go to image, then mode, and then reduce it to 8-bit per channel. Remember, the only least image that is existing here is 8 bits. If you reduce this further to grayscale, this one will even change its appearance, and it's going to be distorted in a way. The representation of this image will be distorted. So select 8 bits, then go back here and get evidence that it is now on 8 bits. Okay, so go here and get this as a screenshot, that it is now 8 bits, and come back to your evidence document, and this is now the image after changing. So it's now you've reduced the number of channels per color to 8 bits from 16 bits. Okay, so next thing that you're supposed to do is to come back here. We are told now, so we're done with evidence 1. Now the question also tells us that we are supposed to save this image so that it is more suitable for use as a web-based image. Okay, and then we shouldn't crop this one. So what I'm going to do now is to save this image. Okay, so let's go to our Photoshop. Let's save this image. Go to File, then Save As. Now you're going to save it as a new image, so I'm going to put edited or reduced, maybe, just to make sure that it is different from the original image. Now you need to change the file format, because now you've reduced it to 8 bits per channel. It's pointless to keep it as PNG. Okay, so PNG mostly, or rather 8 bits per channel, you find JPEG image is the most appropriate file image to work with. So you need to save it as a JPG image file. Okay, and save. Okay, with this window, just click on save. Okay, then you go back to the question. So the question says, now take a screenshot showing the contents of your 1732 HTML folder and place this in your evidence document. Okay, right, so let's go ahead and do just that. Okay, so we need to go to our folder and take a screenshot of this. Okay, so just take a screenshot of this, and notice how that the file sizes have changed. The JPEG file is actually smaller than the PNG file with more bits per channel. So copy this and then come and paste it in here. Okay, so that should be fine. Okay, now the next question should be that in your own words, evaluates in your own words your changes to this image. Okay, so type in your evaluation in the evidence document using no more than 100 words. Okay, so come back to the evidence document, and then you're going to do some evaluation of what has just happened. Okay, so remember I say that the PNG image or the 48-bit image is actually a larger file size. Okay, so we're saying that the original image or PNG image was of a larger file size. Okay, it has been changed into a JPG image and has its bits per channel reduced to 8 bits from 16 bits. Remember, it was 16 bits initially. Okay, this will enable the image to load faster. Okay, in the browser. Okay, this will enable the image to load faster. Although, so you're talking about also some possibilities, although the quality of the image will be reduced a bit. Okay, because you've changed how many colors are now representing each color, so you have very few bits that are reserved now for the representation of high quality color. Okay, so this should be fine. Though this is how many words? Let's see. Okay, 53. That should be fine. Okay, next thing that we're supposed to do is to crop the image that is saved in step 2, to remove the left, that is 1/3, and the right 1/3 of the image, and it should look something like that. So you crop out this side and you crop out this side, and then you save the image with this new file name. So I'm just going to copy this file name copy it and then come back here. Yeah, and then we need to crop out this one. Now some of you guys, you may not have the ruler, like you see up here and down there there's a ruler. You need to enable it on view and then come to rulers and enable it from here. So you're having something like this, just come to view and then select rulers and you should see a ruler there. Now take note of the length of this, or the width of this image is from 0 to about 99. So if you divide this into three parts, into 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, you should have something like 33 or so portions. Okay, so from 0 to 33, one portion; from 33 to 66, one portion; and from 66 to 99, also one portion. So go to crop. Okay, so select the image and then go to crop, which is here, and then drag and drop. So you notice also that this one is even showing you where it's supposed to take that. So drag and drop it on 33. So let's see, this should be somewhere about there, 33. And yeah, so somewhere there, let's just get them. Of course we can put some custom croppings, okay, but this shouldn't be a big deal. You can just drag and drop as long as you have a rule this side. So the other one should be right about 66 there, okay, so that you have the image worked out like that. Okay, so you have 33 cut off from this side and 33 cut off this side, and you have 33 remaining in the center, and you can go ahead and accept these as it changes. So go ahead and save this file now with a new file name. Save it as that, and then yeah, save it as that. Then what I need to do now is to just save it, say okay, and now we have that. So guys, I'm gonna have to end here. Of course I've not done the screenshots, so it says take a screenshot evidence of the cropped image. So what you can do is either get a screenshot from here, or you can go to your folder and view this image in your default in your default application for photo. Okay, so just open it like that and then take a screenshot of this this image. So make sure that you take a screenshot of this nature so that it is able to show that there's some blank space this side and some blank space this side, and get that, then paste it in your evidence document. So this is evidence 5, just paste it just there and that should be perfectly fine. Okay, so guys, I'm gonna have to end here for this video. I understand it has taken quite a bit some time because there's some concepts that I had to explain to you guys, but nevertheless we are going to continue with step number 5 in the next video. So thank you so much for watching so far, and I'll see you shortly in the next video.